Okay.
I could remember when we went 3A.
But,
A year we went.
we're getting ready to start.
Okay.
welcome to the Coaches Show on Oklahoma Sports Network. We're here at Luigi's in Newcastle, and we want to give a big shout-out and a word of thanks to the entire Luigi's family, the Scafettas, the Wilsons, the Johnsons, the brothers and sisters and cousins and children all serve and operate the Luigi's around our area. We're especially proud to be here in Newcastle. We're at 117 Northwest 32nd Street here in the Tri-City area of Newcastle. There's still time to come out. If you want to come out and join us, you've got time to make that short drive up here. Starting next week, we're in week 0 now, but starting next week, Luigi's will be offering a special from their menu each week, and all the specials they offer are going to be great. Let's get started things off, if I may, then, by allowing me to introduce my sidekick, my partner, a person known to many here in Newcastle in this area, Mr. Gerald Lewis. Gerald, it's a pleasure to be working with you. Tell us a little bit about you, your role in the community, your role at the school.
Thank you, Gene. Yes, sir. I've been here, my wife and I, and my son, he graduated from high school. Newcastle High School in 2020. We've been here about 17 years in the community. I work down the street at First Baptist Church Newcastle, and I'm also the head coach cross country of the high school and middle school head coach of cross country here at Newcastle High School. So.
All right, great. Well, Gerald and I are going to enjoy this season doing the Coaches Show, and we're very thankful to have a producer extraordinary, Mr. Uriah Martinez, doing the producing for us. So thank you, Uriah. We're glad to have you here. We appreciate that. Every show is special, Gerald, but tonight's show is our season opener.
Yes, sir.
Yours and my opener.
Yes,
and
sir.
It's also going to be an opener for the racers. We're going to be talking about the racers preparing for this season, some of the practices, how their scrimmages went, and we're also going to be talking about getting an introduction into Class 5A. So that's pretty exciting to all of us. But it's especially special because we do have Coach Jeff Brickman with us tonight. He's heading out to a late evening practice, and so we've got him on the set now. We're going to bring him in. We've got some questions for Coach, and we can't keep him too late because I think if you're late for practice, what happens? Run? Yeah. There'll be wind sprints. They'll be running up and down the bleachers, so we're going to get him on the set here, ask him some questions. So, Gerald, start off well, let me tell you, Gerald and I, Coach, there are 3 areas that we're thinking about, but you can speak on any area you want to discuss. But generally, we would like to hear from you about your coaching staff, about the scrimmages and things you've done up to this point, and then a little bit later on toward the end about the upcoming game with Bartlesville. So, Gerald, go ahead and kick it off if you would, please.
Thank you, Gene. Coach, thank you for being here. We appreciate your time. Just a couple questions. So this is your 8th season at Newcastle. How does this season compare to your first season?
The first season?
Yes, sir.
First season I got here, I didn't really know a whole lot, to be honest, about Newcastle. I moved out in the area in 2005, but I coached in Moore.
Yes, sir.
At a high school, and then I coached at Oklahoma Baptist for a year, and really just didn't know a whole lot about Newcastle other than I enjoyed living out here. I actually recruited a player from Anadarko that I came and watched a playoff game, Anadarko versus Newcastle, and that's kind of the first time I kind of saw the facility, and it's pretty close to my house, and pretty nice out here, and didn't really think too much of it. And then fast forward a couple of years, the job had opened up and came in and was hired to rebuild the football program, and didn't know a whole lot about what had happened prior to that, but numbers were down quite a bit. We had around 40, 45 players. We're getting beat by about 30 something points a game, and kind of just went to work and just gotten a little bit better every year, and that's just basically what you do. Is it kind of like how do you take care of an elephant one bite at a time? So I mean, it was just a little bit by a little bit, and we just gotten a little bit better each and every year that I've been here.
Yeah, and I've been a witness to that, and we're very lucky and blessed to have you in our
Thank
community.
you.
So we appreciate that. So a couple things, Coach. Every season there's turnover with coaching staff. Can you talk a little bit about your new additions and what they bring to the table, and just make sure and you have all your position coaches ready to go?
Yeah, well, fortunately for us, we retain every coach but one. Coach Haggerty, who is our head track coach, he has a lot on his plate, so he didn't leave on bad terms. He's still at the school and still a great friend of mine. And, if he ever wanted to coach with us again, we would welcome him to do that. But really, we retained all of our coaches minus Coach Haggerty, and then we just gained 4 more coaches. So with that, moving up and having more players on the team, we have a coach dedicated to every single position on offense and defense, which is really key to becoming basically when we play another team, I don't really think of the end results. I think of the process.
Yes, sir.
And what I always want to have happen is after you play an opponent, that coach, when the game's over, they would say 2 things. One, those players played extremely hard, and they were extremely well coached. So the part about being well coached is on us as coaches, and the part about playing hard is on the players. And I always feel like if we can take care of those 2 things, I can live with just about anything.
That's good. Yeah, attitude and effort.
That's right.
So, with that, Coach, this year at Newcastle, we have a new strength and conditioning coach specifically for that, for all student athletes, not just football. But how are you going to bring him along side by side with the football program to make not just us better, but all sports better?
Well, first of all, I give credit to the Newcastle administration. That is very rare for a 5A size school and really rare for the west side of the state. Normally what you would see with a full-time strength coach that does it all day for every sport, you'd see it up in Tulsa with, Jinx Union, Broken Arrow, Bigsby, all those teams. You don't really see that very much in the West, even at bigger schools in the West. And you definitely don't see it in 5A. So for them to see a need there and to not just give weights for the students all day, but to actually hire a fully dedicated strength coach to do that is really, really good. It's funny how small the world is. My entry-level years of coaching, I was at Moore High School, and I was a junior high football coach and an assistant boys basketball coach. And when I was there, our girls' head basketball coach was Coach Gray. That's the first time I ever met him. And always got along really well with him. Didn't know him extremely well, but just, thought highly of him. And then fast forward some years later, end up coaching his son at OBU. He was one of our offensive linemen and played with Coach Bradshaw, our defense coordinator, and Coach Ketch, our offense coordinator. So it's just kind of a small world.
Coach, about that, if I may, do you collaborate with Coach Gray specifically for football, or does he have a program that's just sufficiently universal that it fits right into your program?
Well, when he came in, he's very humble, but has a lot of knowledge. He himself was a college football player. He played at Southwest Missouri State. He graduated from Tulsa Union in 1985. And he came in, and really what he did is he came and observed all of our summer workouts, which the coaches put together, and visited with me and just said, I kind of see that these guys are bought in, and I really like what you guys are doing as far as the organization of it. And he said I would be foolish if I came in and try to, change it all. And he kind of just has piggybacked off what we did this summer. And then the main thing that he's going to try to do is gauge, like, their legs, you know what I mean? Because you want to be strong, but you also don't want to overly do it to where they, don't have enough juice for the game. So when we get close to the game days, it's going to be him kind of using his experience and gauging, watching the game, and then seeing how they react to it, to how much, he can push them on game days and maybe the day leading up to it, and then how much he needs to take it off. So we have a really good relationship, and I think it's going to work out great.
Great. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's good. Trying to have fresh legs for game day, and that's important.
Yeah.
You know about legs in your sport.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. You always want to be fresh for game day. So, Coach, last year you kind of talked a little bit about your role, kind of resembling the CEO of the program, and with all these special coaches or the special teams specific position coaches. And is that the same this year, or are you going to try to do are you going to try to get more into it, or you just, hey, I hired these guys, I trust these guys, let them do their job?
The thing, as we all know, in whatever careers we have, and even, as fathers and things like that, you learn by experience. And when you really look at not all, but most successful football programs, whether they're NFL, college, even high school, what they all have in common is the head coach doesn't call the offense or defense.
Yes.
He manages the whole thing. You think of like Bill Belichick or Nick Saban. Now, obviously, they cut their teeth with one side of the ball. Both of those guys were defensive coaches. But for me, my whole career basically has been as an offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. And so last year, I really kind of stepped aside, and I thought they did a great job. But what I realized is I can still kind of do both, not necessarily calling the plays, but mainly the main difference this year is last year on the weekends when the defense met and the offense met, they meet in separate rooms and they game plan. I was there as a resource, but I kind of just set up the schedule for the week and wasn't real involved with either side. And this year I'm sitting in all the offensive meetings and helping them, not that they couldn't do it without me, but helping them game plan a little bit better. And the biggest deal with that, though, I feel bad for Coach King, who coaches quarterbacks, because that's what I did forever. And so I tend to, whenever he's meeting with the quarterbacks, kind of sit back and I fight myself from interjecting.
Right.
And then the same thing with Coach Ketch, who is the offensive coordinator. I might mention to run a play or something, and I'm thinking, man, I sure wouldn't want, whenever I was in that role, I wouldn't want that to be done to me. So I guess to answer your question, still a CEO, but I'm going to help the offense out a little bit more this year, mainly on the weekends.
Well, Coach, you had an opportunity to see that work in action with a pretty major scrimmage a few days ago. We were at Carl Albert, a lot of big, strong teams that we went up against, and what were some of your takeaways from that scrimmage?
Well, once again, it comes from experience. Usually when you fail at something, you learn from it. And just a little bit of history of why. One thing you probably noticed with me is if I have an opportunity, I'm going to try to play the best to prepare the team. And I haven't always been that way. I recall one year at a different school, we had a really, really, really talented team. We had just come off of like a 11-1 season. Everybody had a lot of people back. We all thought we were going to be really good. Our first game was against a subpar team, and we were up 52-0 at halftime. And we didn't even play our players in the second half. And, man, we thought we were just, we were the 85 Bears. I mean, we were – so then what happened was we played our rival, and they were a lot better than the team we played, and they exposed every weakness we have. Our players had to play the full game. They cramped in overtime because it went to overtime, and we lost. And I never will forget that. And so from that point, I've always said when we scrimmage teams, when we have an opportunity in the summer to go up against, I'm going to bring the best we've got because it will expose everything that we need to fix before we play a really good opponent. So that's what we did. In the summer, we brought in the largest high school in the state, which is Broken Arrow. We brought in Mustang and Moore High School and Bishop McGuinness. And it showed a lot of the things that we needed to correct. And then when it came time to scrimmage, really good friend of mine's Mike Dunn at Carl Albert, and I called him. I said, we want to go up against you guys, and we want to be the headliner. Not only that, but we'll play you in the you can be fresh, because what happened was we scrimmaged the whole day. Then we went up against Edmond Memorial, a 6A team.
Mm-hmm.
Carl Albert's over in their locker room, resting, and then we get them when we're dead tired.
Wow.
All designed to see what we need to fix.
Wow, impressive.
Yeah.
And they were pretty powerful against us, obviously, but I also saw a lot of great things in the rapid fire, and even throughout those two scrimmages, Edmond Memorial and whatever. Saw a lot of passes completed. I saw a lot of nice blocking. Saw a lot of touchdown passes made. So there's a lot of good things happened during that day, right?
Yeah, we have offensive and defensive goals. And you talk about completing passes. One of our goals is to have 70% completions, and we hit that mark right on the decimal point. 70.0 completion percentage in that scrimmage, and some other things. But you tend to look at the bad and try to correct that. But obviously there was a lot of good from the scrimmage overall.
All right. Good. Right. Gerald, let's talk about the upcoming game.
Okay, so we play Thursday night, not Friday. We open up the season.
2 days away.
2 days away.
Wow.
2 days away. Bartlesville Bruins. 5A or 6A?
6A2.
6A2.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So playing being this is our first year in 5A. What are some of the challenges you guys face as a program first year into 5A, which means we're at the bottom. With, I think our ADM is like 790 something, and then like the 6A is like 1400 and above. So is it numbers? Is it physicality? What's the challenges that you guys face?
It really depends on who you're talking about, because just like with anything else, nothing's exact. So it really depends on who the opponent is.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, there's a huge difference between, say, a Broken Arrow that has 5,000 students.
Right.
And then the 16th largest school in 6A, which has, maybe 1,800 students, right? We're going to be a lot closer to the 1,800 student school than we are the 5,000 school.
Yes, sir.
We ran into that whenever I was a coach in 6A. We played Carl Albert in the non-district back-to-back. First year we beat them 38-21, and the second year we beat them pretty similar, 37-17.
Okay.
And then they won the state championship both those years. And we were a playoff team in 6A, but we didn't win the state championship. The point of it being is that there is a difference between classes.
Yes, sir.
And I think to answer your point, it mainly is your depth.
Right.
When you put your 11 players on the field, typically those starters are pretty comparable to other programs.
Yes, sir.
It's whenever you start getting into the third and the fourth quarter or later in the season when you have injuries or fatigue, the teams that have a lot more students are going to have more depth than the teams that don't.
Yes, sir. Yeah. That's good.
I notice you've already named captains for the year, right?
Yes.
6 of them?
Yes.
Sounds pretty strong. I like every one of them.
Yeah.
And so tell us how, you don't have to tell us all the details, but what are some of the filters of selecting captains for the year?
Well, the hard thing with it is none of us are perfect, especially when we're 17 years old, right? And that being said, there's some characteristics from people, even young people, that people, gravitate towards or want as leaders. And really all we do, it's pretty simple. We give the players a right to vote for the captains, and we'll take a look at who they voted for as a staff, and if we feel like maybe you might not know this about this person, we might, pull that. They don't know who it is.
Right.
But all we really did is we looked at this year, we looked at who got the majority of the votes. You'd want it to be 4. This year we had 6. And we had one clear cut, had more votes than anybody else, and that was Taj Smith. Okay. And then we had a bunch of others that were relatively the same with double-digit votes. And so that's really how we did it, is we let the team decide who their captains were. Obviously, we gave them a speech on what they're looking for and all that. And the hard thing with it is, even with Taj, he's still just like the rest of us. He has his flaws, like he might wake up late and be late to a workout, right? So my job is to remind him, hey, you're supposed to be the head captain. Head captains don't show up late to workouts. But we're all going to make mistakes.
Right.
Even at almost 50 years old, I'm late sometimes to things, and that's a difficult part because not one of them's going to be perfect.
Right.
But the best thing about Taj, our head captain, is he plays relentlessly. He's vocal. Sometimes you have really good leaders, but they don't really talk very much, right? He will talk. And I think the players trust him as far as the type of work he puts out there on the field. He's a big guy. And then when you watch him condition after practice, he's not someone way back at the end of the line. He's not usually the first one, but he's way up there.
Wow.
And he never comes off the field, and he is just a warrior at heart.
Right.
So
it's a great group, and you have a great group of players anyway. There's a lot of character and a lot of just great behavior. I appreciate that. Let me draw us back a little bit back to Bartlesville. What do you think fans will be seeing Thursday night? For example, what type of offense will they likely run? I don't know all the X's and O's, but is it like spread? Is it fast moving, or do you know yet from what you've seen?
I think the first thing they're going to see is the step up in level of competition as far as all the things that surround bigger teams, meaning like they're going to have more of an infrastructure. They're going to have a lot of coaches. They're going to be more professional. They're probably going to bring over more things on the sideline. They're probably going to have video equipment that they're looking in between series. They're going to have a lot more things that maybe we're not used to because we've been in a smaller class.
Right.
So I think that'd be the first thing they would see. As far as scheme goes, what we've seen of them on film is they run what's called an odd front. They have 3 down linemen on defense.
Yeah.
And on offense, they are a spread team, but they mainly are in 2-back, split-back offense.
Okay. All right. Good.
Do they huddle, or do they just fast-paced, go?
From what we can tell, they're a no-huddle team.
No,
Yep.
okay.
Well, without sharing any corporate secrets, how about the racers? What will the fans see with our offense, defense, and maybe special teams? Anything unique or fun to watch? Or
Well, my background, like I said, has been offense. The way that we do our offense is we have this huge menu. Like if you come here, you have this big menu of all the stuff you can eat, right? But you can't eat it all at one time, right? So basically what we do is we put in the entire menu in the spring and in the summer, all of it. Even if they don't do it very well, we introduce it to them.
right.
So they have familiarity with it. Then on the weekends, we look at the opponent, see, what do they do, and then we basically trim down that menu to a smaller menu. And so our offense, I think, is multiple enough to where we can run and throw the ball both. I would say the biggest difference this year than last year is our change of pace. We're now going to be able to go fast, medium, and slow on offense.
Oh, good.
So, we might have you'll see a signal plays in. Some of them are the formation, a motion, and a play. And we have some plays that we just call play, and they memorize it's the formation and the play all in one. So you saw in that scrimmage we had more success doing that. When we scored against Memorial, we went faster. And so it's kind of like a baseball, a pitcher. We have different speeds we can throw at the defense, which I think will be a little bit different. And then defensively, pretty much the same thing you saw from last year. We have 2 seasoned defensive ends that are pretty big guys. You know, one's about 6'4", 230 pounds. The other one's about 6'5", 230 pounds, which is pretty rare to have guys that big. And so we're going to utilize them in our defense, trying to get them on pass rushes and stuff. And then obviously with Taj being a 4-year starter in the interior, playing what we call 3 technique, he creates a lot of havoc there. And just mixing up coverages on the back end so we can kind of, keep people guessing at what we're doing back there.
And you have a lot of returning starters on defense too, as well as, in fact, a lot of returnings, right?
Yep.
All right, very good. Well, let me do a time check. How are you on time? Do you have time for a few more questions, or do you need to run yet?
I probably need to go.
We are going to let you go then. We're going to break
Okay.
and say thank you so much for being here with us today.
All right.
We'd like to keep you even longer, but we don't want you to have to run sprints.
No, I understand.
So good luck tonight. Any final wrap-up comments there,
No,
Gerald?
Coach, appreciate you.
Thank
sharing
you,
your time,
guys.
and appreciate you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Moving forward, we'll definitely have more time. We won't be practicing at night.
You're doing what we need to be doing, so thank you.
All right, thank
well,
you,
let's
guys.
take a short break now, and we'll let Coach Brickman get back to his team for the evening practice. You're watching the Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
At CFD, our mission is to deliver quality dentistry by providing big practice benefits with a little practice feel. Since 2008, we've updated our look, technology, and have added new smiles to our tenured staff to better care for you right here at home. Convenience for you is one of our biggest goals, and we often provide same-day treatment to minimize your time off work. We are open Monday through Friday to serve you. Visit cfdok.com for details. We look forward to seeing you at our big little practice.
Well, welcome back to the Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We're here at Luigi's in Newcastle. We're going to be here each Tuesday night, 6:30 to 7:30. We hope you'll come out and join us live. If not, you can watch us on demand. You can watch us streaming for Oklahoma News Network. We'll give you the details for that. But come to Luigi's and enjoy some of the best Italian food this side of the Atlantic Ocean. So we are joined now by our athletics director, Coach Brent Hodges. We're always glad to have Coach Hodges on our show, and tonight he's going to be sharing quite a bit of information that our fans need to know, will be helpful hints and everything for our game Thursday night and for the games this season. So, Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're in your second year here at Newcastle, so how's year 2 been so far?
Hey, fast and furious. Just rolled in. Softball just won 14-0 over Bishop McGuinness in a district win. So
excellent.
Had a big win last night versus had a big win. Am I on? Can y'all hear me?
How about now? We're having a little bit of audio trouble.
Okay, go ahead. Is that better?
Is that better? Yep. Thank you.
All right. So yeah, softball had a big win last night in district play, 2-0 over Harris. So they got had a little bit of maybe a start that we weren't used to, but they're getting back on track and climbing up the district rank standings. So year 2 starting off fast. Volleyball started. Cross country had a great showing at Deer Creek the other day, and led by our own Coach Lewis. So a lot of exciting things happening. A lot of new things happening around our campus, which is always great. And we put a video out there, some new things that have been happening, new things that are going on in Newcastle athletics. So we're really excited.
Gerald, every once in a while I ask Brent, Coach Hodges, when is his downtime?
Yeah, so
and it always makes him smile, or maybe grit his teeth. I mean, there's no downtime, right?
You know what? I wouldn't know what to do with downtime.
Right.
So I wouldn't know what to do with myself.
So one of the questions we had for you was, like the day in the life of an athletic director. Like, what's the most sporting events you've been to in one day?
In one day, last year I did a swim meet.
We
swim meet, swim regionals, basketball regionals, wrestling regionals, and I think it was a soccer scrimmage. So I did 4 in one day. Yeah. That was a full day.
And probably filled in some phone calls about some others.
Emails.
Amen.
No emails, all right?
No one ever emails me. Yeah. I've only gotten 13 since I've been sitting here, I think.
And to add a little context to this, or perspective, I should say, are the number of sports, number of athletic programs we have in Newcastle. You probably have the number. We were trying to count them up ourselves.
All right, let's count them up together. We have football. We have cross country. We have volleyball. We have softball. We have cheer. We have pom. We have swim. We have basketball. We have wrestling.
Yep.
We have golf. We have tennis this year. We have track. We have soccer. We have baseball. So hope
we
you kept
lost
track
our
at home.
notes.
Hope you kept track at home.
Yeah.
Well, we had, I think we had a total of 25.
Yeah. With
fishing.
We have
girls and boys,
Yep.
boys and girls. Yeah.
And
Yeah, total. Boys and girls.
duplicate part of those for middle school, high school. So very good, very good. I lost track where we were.
Yeah,
Gerald.
no, it's exciting. So Coach Hodges, why do they call you Coach?
Once a coach.
A long time ago, I coached him a long time ago.
What'd you coach?
Coached girls basketball, coached a little bit of tennis, coached
Nice.
and also coached golf, and I drove a bus for a baseball team. So
There you go.
I was one of the coaches, but I called myself the bus coach because I drove the bus. So,
Good. Okay, so Mr. Hodges, Coach Hodges, a lot of things changing, a lot of things going on at the high school. Our first home game is coming up. The video that you guys put out is great.
Yeah.
Good job.
And that's on the Newcastle Athletics Department Facebook page.
Correct.
We ask that you go there,
Yes.
share it with everyone you can, because it's going to be it's going to take all of us to make it go right on Thursday night.
Correct.
It's going to be a lot of inconvenience, but I think as a community we'll be fine. But share some of those things, Mr. Hodges, that's going on Thursday night.
Yeah, so a couple things that I would hit on is ticketing. So when you come to our home games now, our ticketing is going to be a little bit different. There is a cash option. You can pay for that at the door. But your tickets are going to be on GoFan now, the GoFan app.
Okay.
You can do that before you get to the game. We'll have QR codes there to pull it up. Best thing is download the app and use your app. Your tickets can be stored in there up to 6 months in advance. We have all of our fall sporting events on there, so you can buy your tickets for all the fall sporting events that you want to go to right now. Also, we have a credit card with our GoFan that you can use at every single one of our gates. So if you don't have cash and you don't want to use the app, you don't know how to use an app very well, you're not really used to it, you can also use your credit card at the gate. Some of the other things that are gonna change is we are gonna have weapons detectors at each games. All of our sporting events starting this Thursday. They just got delivered yesterday, so we've been doing some training on those.
Okay.
So when you enter our facilities now, you will go through weapons detector. You will have to probably put all of your stuff in a bowl next to the weapons detector, kind of slide that, walk through, make sure everything in the bowl is safe, and then also everything that is, as you walk through, it will detect anything
Any metal.
that's supposed to be in there.
Yeah, so So don't show up at 6:59 expecting to get in the football game.
Yeah, you're probably
What time do gates open?
Gates open at 5:30. If you show up at 6:59, don't plan on seeing kickoff. Okay. Parking is going to be a challenge. I'm going to call it a challenge this year. It's not going to be bad. It's not going to be ugly. And it's a challenge. Okay, that we're all up to, folks. So we did the parking video. Everything behind the home gate and that we re-graveled the parking lot is all open and free parking. The visiting side is going to be and usually that grass field that everyone parked in, well, they're digging a hole. Okay, they're digging a hole right there. It's a big hole for the high school. They're digging a hole under construction. So that's going to be off limits. That kind of that street that runs behind the visiting gate, we're going to leave that for handicap parking and more elderly parking for our visiting fans. There's some of our home fans that need to park closer, and then everything kind of along by the gym, in front of the auditorium, in front of the old gym. That'll be open parking, and you may have to walk a little bit if you're not on the home side. Okay. One thing we tell people, if you're on the home side, you're entering the home gate. If you're on the visiting side, you're entering the visiting gate. Okay. We're also going to have parking at the ECC that people can take shuttles, and they'll drop you off at the home gate. If you don't want to maneuver kind of all the parking, you can park at the ECC, and we'll have Yolanda Wilson, our transportation director, is coordinating that, and she's going to bring get people to shuttle those buses over. And they'll run an hour before kickoff and an hour after kickoff continuously through the game. So that's going to be some things that are going to be different this year. Parking is going to be different. The ticketing is going to be different. One thing, buy your tickets before you get there on GoFan. It'll make your evening a lot smoother. Okay, so that'll make it a lot easier.
And
for
Coach,
you.
I'm old school. I like things printed out. I print out everything. Even if someone gives me electronic, I print it out. But I went to GoFan. Easy. Yeah. Download on the app was easy. You know, once I got the gist of it, what a great way. I've got tickets coming to me all through the season, easy to show right on my phone. And so if you've got a lot of gray hair like me and you're not used to doing a lot of things, just take a few moments, have someone walk you through it if you need to. A 9-year-old granddaughter would be a good advice to do that. But it's worth it, and you're going to and it's the world we're in, right, Coach? I mean, we're there already. We're behind.
And if you've used, I mean, a lot of us have gone to playoff games. If you followed the football team, we went to 2 playoff games last year. You had to buy your tickets on GoFan. It's the same app, and now you just have it for. You'll look at Newcastle High School, and all of our tickets for high school and junior high will be right there.
So I think I need to ride with Eugene to the game so we can get closer parking because you can park in the elderly spots.
I'm gonna go Uber.
Okay. Go Uber. There you go.
Hey, use an Uber. Yeah, use an Uber. They'll drop you right off the gate.
How about making a fun night? You're always looking to make home games a great experience. You're bringing the band. They'll move up into the stands.
We're going to put
right?
the band back in the stands. So something that Coach Brick and we talked about, and even Coach Siebert. I call him Coach Siebert. He's the coach of the band. But I actually do call him Coach Siebert a lot. No, sorry. He's he just kind of rolls with it with me. One thing we talked about last year, the best energy we had from our home, not our home fans, but our fans, was all at visiting games. And I said, what's the one correlation between having our most spirit energized group was, well, our band was in the stands with our fans. I love that when previously we had our band kind of their own area. It was kind of they can spread out. It was great. But at times last year I go, man, it'd be great to have them right there next to our students.
Right.
And having a lot of fun because we felt that at road games. I mean, if you were at that Elk City game or that Bethany game, man, the energy was fantastic. And I will say this to Coach Siebert and to all of our band kids and our band parents, they led that. They got the energy started, and I said, what a great energy builder if we could have that at all of our home games too.
And our band in general is just doing a great job anyway. They've gotten better. They get better every year. And what would a football game be without a good band, good cheer, good activity on the sidelines? Great.
Coach Siebert's coaching them up. I love it.
Yeah, and our thanks to administration, including Coach Walker, who's here.
Coach Walker.
Our superintendent.
Did you call her Coach or Doctor?
And really, if I may, Coach, a shout-out to all the fans who have been in here tonight. We're so glad to have everyone here. We're glad to have Dr. Walker with us tonight. We're so proud of the support they provided to athletics. You've acknowledged it on your videos and everything. The buses, transportation, new lighting at the field. Is that not going to be a great experience?
If you don't have a good reason to come to the game Friday night, just show up because of the lights.
Yeah.
We got a few surprises too. So we got a few surprises about our lights, and you'll want to be there for night number one underneath the lights. And I can't commend our school board, Dr. Walker, the leadership of our school. Really, since I got here, kind of, on the ground running, their investment into athletics. Just today we got our new cheer mats in. In about a month and a half, we're getting new wrestling mats for the wrestling room that our school leadership has invested in athletics. We care about athletics here, and we want it to be important, and we want it to look important. And there's a lot more in store that we're going to kind of continue to improve upon. It's going to take time. We're going to continue to improve upon what we already have, but we're working on that. And just there are people out there that maybe not know me or the people at the school. Our administration is committed to it, and that's the fun thing that we get to work. I get to work with people every day that are committed to athletics, so that's the fun part.
Right. How about Thursday night, special night, blue out night?
What out. Wear your blue.
Anything else? Anything halftime unique or just band play?
I think Coach Lewis is going to do some interpretive dancing during halftime. I think we got him some interpretive dancing.
Who's going to interpret it?
Yeah.
You just interpret it yourself. No, I'm just playing.
Thursday is Little League night.
Little League night. So Little League should be getting a message today from the NASA football director, Kyle Williams. So, but pregame, you can start lining up your kids at 6 o'clock on the field. They can watch warm-ups and do the run-out tunnel and watch the football players run out. You need to wear your jersey to be on the field, okay? Wear your jersey to be on the field, and then after the field, after they run out, you need to go back to mom and dad in the stands. But we want our Little League to kind of experience what it's like on a game field before the game.
Great.
So it'll be a fun night. Wear some blue, and it'll be a fun night. It'll be an exciting night. The weather is supposed to cooperate. It's going to be a little bit cooler than kind of the next. Probably, hopefully, it'll look cooler, and should be a fun night.
Right.
Yeah. So on the whole season, like we have blue out.
Yeah.
We have blackout, and then homecoming's little racer palm night, and then band night, senior night. So when you have these theme nights, like with blue out, is it the student body that does that? Do they approach you, or do you approach the student body? How does that all come together?
So there's a leadership class in our school that I work with for athletics, and then there's some other things like some of the other things, band night, cheer night, palm night, sponsor night that we kind of do as an athletic department. But a lot of the blue night, we wanted to make it the blue kind of. We have our new uniforms that we're wearing. So they're going to be in all blue. So I think people really love that. Then the next week we're going to kind of go all black. So it's kind of just some fun things we're going to do to try to just make some fun. Some fun happen. So we're blue this week, and then next week we're all black. Yeah.
Well, Coach, we want to say thank you for attending our coaches show tonight. We'll be seeing you throughout the season, I hope. And let me just remind everybody that you can watch the coaches show live or on demand. From your smartphone, from your computer, your tablet, just simply by downloading the free apps. It's easy to find OSN in the App Store. Just search for Oklahoma Sports Network, and you can download it to Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, or even Apple TV. So there's a lot of us who we love going to the ball games. We love coming here to Luigi's, but then we also like to watch it again on demand. All the football games. I enjoy it just about as much Saturday morning as I do the night before. But I don't want to miss the game, but I really love seeing it. So be sure and tune in to the Oklahoma Sports Network. We appreciate OSN for producing this show, and we really appreciate our friends here at Luigi's for sponsoring it, hosting us. I didn't say enough about the crowd tonight. Some have already come and dined and started to head out. We appreciate all of you all being here. Dr. Walker, our superintendent, comes so often to these. So we'll try never to bother her and ask her all the questions. She just gets to enjoy as a guest. So thank you, Dr. Walker, for being here. Coach Hodges, thank you so much. We're going to take a break now, and Gerald and I will come back for our closing wrap-up. This is the Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
How do you ignite minds, inspire curiosity, fuel the explorers and innovators? How do you instill a lifelong love of learning? You give our Oklahoma schools and teachers, and most important, our kids, what they need. That's why the people of Oklahoma Oil and Natural Gas have contributed over $2 billion to education in the last decade, so our students have the opportunity to improve our future and theirs.
And we're back. Welcome to the Coaches Show. We're on Oklahoma Sports Network. Excuse me. We're at Luigi's here at 117 Northwest 32nd Street. We're in the Tri-City area. So we're about to wrap up the show tonight, but put us on your calendar for Tuesday nights. Next Tuesday night to begin with, come to our show, have dinner here at Luigi's. Best Italian food this side of the Atlantic, and we're glad to have you here. Well, Gerald, it was a good opening show. I hope it's good for all of our fans. I sure enjoyed it. I enjoyed the opportunity. Our thanks to Eric Sherem and the Oklahoma Sports Network. For and a big thank you to Uriah Martinez, our producer. He's kept us in line today. He's done a real good job with it, and we appreciate that. We appreciate everyone being here. Gerald, let's just talk a little bit about this game coming up. We're not the experts. We're just a couple of fans.
We're pretty close.
But for all intents and purposes, we're expert in our own mind.
Right, yes, sir.
Let's talk a little bit about what we think are the keys to the game. What would you say are the keys to our game Thursday night?
Yeah, I mean, going up against a 6A school, probably one of the biggest things we're going to have to do is control the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball. You talk about the guys in the trenches, the big uglies, all those guys down there. Because I think we'll have a few guys play both ways. We just have to be able to allow our quarterback to take his drop, find a receiver, throw it, or when he's running the RPOs, to make sure he can read, hand it to him, or keep it from with TJ. Because a couple times on the scrimmages, you could see where by the time Jackson handed it off, the guys were already in. But coaches are working on that. We've got that, I think, taken care of. But controlling that line of scrimmage is going to be big in the opening night, and of course the turnover battle. I mean, that's just every game is a turnover battle. And usually, if you can win that, you have a really good shot at winning the game. So those two things for me are going to be big. The excitement's going to be there. The home game is going to be exciting to start to kick the season off. And this is our first year in 5A, so we're going to have a lot of unknown teams. Like you and I kind of discussed off camera. So, but yeah, those two things for me, Gene.
Let me hitchhike on that. A few years ago, we had a makeup game with Washington High School.
Yes,
remember that?
Yep, yes, sir.
And the coach was telling us that. He said, we only knew about 2 days ahead before we played. We didn't know them. They didn't know us. It was an exciting game. He thought it was exciting.
Yes, sir.
And we prevailed in that game. But it occurred to me that this entire season is almost like that.
Yeah.
You and I have not been watching any of these teams. The coaches have not been watching them. So it's going to get exciting.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure the coaches has been watching plenty of film on these teams. So.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they haven't.
Yeah.
We haven't seen them
Correct.
in person.
Correct.
And
Yes, sir.
usually, it's
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 games that we haven't been seeing. So yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I bet they studied the video.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Well, in my opinion, it's just hard to know how good Bartlesville is. We look on Max Preps, and we look at in the write-ups in the magazines and everything. They went 5-7 last year. They actually won. They were like 4-6, and they won the first playoff game.
Yeah.
And then they lost the second game. That sounds pretty impressive, but we don't know how strong they are. It'll be interesting. We know there are going to be a lot of people. They're probably going to bring a lot of buses.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's going to be the intimidation factor, you might say, probably to be expected. They're returning several 3-year starters, so they might be starting to get pretty good. I'd say the keys to the game, it sounds kind of cliche, but our boys need, our players need to stay focused. When they see the size and the number and everything like that, we just need to, as Billy would say, we need to play inside of ourselves. Jackson Shanuel, it will be his offense to lead.
Yes, sir.
So, but he's got a great supporting cast and a couple of great, exciting runners with T.J. Bradford and Trey Burchett and all these guys and all the blocker and everything like that. We have several playmakers.
Yeah.
We're loaded with playmakers, and I want to list them, but I'll leave somebody out. But
Right.
But our fans know we've got guys out there, and I'll give it as an example. The likes of a Rex Heskew, who was our guest many times last week. He and his classmates who graduated with him and played with him all these years. So we've got the players. What we need is a good supporting cast. And finally, special teams. We saw Coach Ingle King the other day. He was talking about how important his special teams are going to have to play. So I think it's going to be a close one, but I hope it's close. I hope we prevail. I hope it's exactly as the coach Brickman explained. Play tough, win big, and be ready for that next big game.
Yeah, and I think, Gene, with the scrimmage that he had earlier in the summer with all the 6A schools, and then scrimmaging Edmond Memorial and Carl Albert, I mean, that does nothing but help prepare our guys for the competition that's out there. Some of us might think, well, why did you bring all these big teams in? Well, because we want to get better. And like Coach said, they go all out to try to expose any weaknesses that we have, and then we fix those weaknesses to get better every single week. And our non-district schedule.
Oh my goodness!
Is
first,
go ahead.
First, if I may, we have 4 non-conference games.
Yes, sir. First 4 games of the year.
Since we're a district of only 7 teams,
yes, sir.
Our first 4 games are non-district, and are they very competitive?
I don't think so. They shouldn't be this year. We should handle them all. No. But yeah, Bartlesville 6A, then of course Tuttle, Blanchard, and Elgin.
Blanchard's picked to repeat in Class 4A.
Yes, sir.
Tuttle is never easy for the racers, and Elgin is ranked. I think they're ranked number 1 in their district.
They're pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty good.
So it is going to be a tough 4 games. We need our 2 of those 4 games are at home.
Yes, sir.
And 2 are away. We need our fans to be faithful and there.
And they will be.
And they will be. Right.
They will be. So.
Right. All right. Well, that wraps it up for us. This has been the Coaches Show, our first show together and our first show of the season. We're calling it Week 0. Our team is playing in Week 0. So we hope to get better every week as along with the team. We will see you here next Tuesday night at 6:30 on the Oklahoma Sports Network.